Hello, one and all, and welcome back to the Great Unknown Audio Show with me, your illustrious host, and most appropriate face for radio, Maxim Jennings. And yes, folks, I did do it. We were up at 6 o'clock this morning to get prepared for what has been a fantastic sunrise. I just about managed to get the full cycle of rise to where we are now, the glorious star that is radiating the seas of Tasmania right before me. And as you can hear, I am right on the beachfront on a place called Spiky Beach. Not entirely sure why it's got that name. Maybe something to do with the spiky rocks that are here, but it's very calm actually. It's a lovely 8 degrees or so, and as soon as the sun popped its head out of the clouds, it feels almost as about 10 or 12. So it's a fantastic start to the morning. I'm very happy that I got myself up, and you never know, maybe that extra motivation that I provided you and myself last night was a fantastic cause, because now we are at that point where the sun is turning the sky less of a yellowy colour and the blue is really popping at this point. Before, you had really strong tints of orange and yellow as we started the day at about 20 past 6. And now the morning is really getting started. The people of Swansea are starting to wake up and begin their day ahead. I'm yet to have any caffeine, which might be my next port of call as I return back to the hostel and pack my stuff and get ready to embark on the next day of this ultra Tasmanian road trip. And episode 3 of Tales in Tassie. If you remember the itinerary, today I am hoping to go to Spot Lavender Park, almost on the other side of the island in the northwest. So the next time you hear from me, that's probably where I'll be. I'll either be providing you an insight from inside of the park itself, or a review following a trip and my journey across this fantastic island. I have just finished at Spot Lavender Estate, which is not Bridestow, as the gentleman corrected me when I walked in. He said that I was the furthest customer they'd had all day, being from south of London, which was a nice little token as I walked in. There was no entry fee because the lavender plants are not in blooming season, which I kind of expected already. So that's a bonus. I was able to walk around the grounds for as long as I wanted and see as much of the estate as I wanted to. There's some beautiful mountains in the background and a herd of sheep in the farm next to the estate. I'm not entirely sure whether the estate owns that flock or not, but it was nice to see them just kind of perching themselves in line with the mountain in the background. So that was very nice. The weather is just about held up. It's very overcast this afternoon / late morning. Perfect conditions for a bit of swing in the MCG, but that's not going to be happening anytime soon. So I think for most people it would have been quite an underwhelming experience seeing the lavender when it's not in bloom. I saw a lot of photos of how purple and beautiful it looked, and it looks completely different at the moment. Most of the lavender plants they look almost dead, as though a dementor has come across and taken all of the purple life out of it and left it to dry and hang out isolated by itself. But I really wanted to come here, first of all because it was recommended by a lot of travel blogs that I had read whilst doing my research for this itinerary, and then secondly because the scent and lavender itself holds a very sentimental place in my heart. And it's a little anecdotal story, one from my childhood, surrounding my late but great-grandmother, Jean Jennings. And she used to live in Salisbury, predominantly for the majority of her life. And she had this black gate, that would always creak open when you entered the property that she lived in. And on either side of almost the walk down to the front door, there was an array of different botanicals, and the most kind of outlandish smell would always be lavender, and you'd be able to hear the bees buzzing around the lavender, and you'd always know every time you walked to Grandma Jean's into her house and back out again where you were. And that lavender smell has stuck with me ever since she kind of left us almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy to say how quickly life goes. So I wanted to make it a mission of mine to come to this place, and also one that was highly recommended, because there are a number of different lavender parks in and around Tasmania. But it was also nice to drive up to, this is almost really the centre north point of the island. So it made my journey up here worthwhile, and I was able to see a bit more of the different landscapes that maybe you wouldn't see on other parts of the island. So that was amazing. And having free roam was fantastic. Being able to walk around and not really wanting to record, just wanting to kind of think of all my memories I have of my grandma, which is, it's weird really, what things can almost stir up emotions that we don't always think about. And this is a very particular scent that will always be with me and will always remind me of her, which is, I find, is really nice. So alongside the walk, I also went into the cafe and had to try some lavender products. I mean, if they have a cafe and it's called the Lavender Cafe, I've got to try it. So I had a pot of tea for one, the Bristow bouquet, they called it, which was a lavender tea mixed with a bit of Earl Grey, which was very nice, very enjoyable. And then alongside that, I had two of the lavender scones, which were absolutely fantastic, with a blueberry compote and clotted cream, of course. And really, the lavender in the scone, it gave you that little scent of what I've been craving for. Although I couldn't really smell it much on the farm, as soon as you enter the shop itself, it smells absolutely fantastic. So overall, a very enjoyable experience, one that I will have fond memories of. I've had a really good time. I had a very enjoyable scone, and I also picked up a pure lavender fragrance oil. And now I don't know whether my usual musky smell will suit the fragrance of lavender, but I think of it as a token of, if I smell like my grandma's front garden, then I will always kind of have that memory of her with me. So only probably be used on special occasions, but I don't have any aftershave with me, so I tend to smell of Nivea roll-on deodorant if I'm ever smelling of anything other than body odour. So it'd be nice to mix that up from time to time and save these for special occasions. And so I'm very excited to wear this. I did try it on, and it didn't smell too masculine or feminine. It just smelled of lavender, and I love that smell, so why not wear it? So now I've got a bit of a journey on my hands. I have to go back through the city of Launceston, which I drove through on the way here, which it looked really nice. It was a bit more built up than anywhere else I've been so far. I didn't really see much of Hobart, so I can't really compare to that, but from what I did see, it had a bit of character, a number of different bars, a number of different things which would relate to the local culture. So I'm going to drive through there, maybe pick up a few things for the next few days, as I was informed that in and around Cradle Mountain there's not really much opportunity to get many groceries. So that might have to be stopped there. I saw my first big superstore in a long time, so we might have to hit that one up and see if they've got any bargains going, because unlike in England, when you go to Tesco's and you see the yellow stickers, there's not really much of that here, which Australia are really missing a trick here if they want to keep their customers coming back. Everyone loves a bargain. So I'll let you know if there's anything of that sort, but I have to go through Launceston to make my way through Cradle Mountain, and I will reconvene with you guys when I get to Cradle Mountain. I think I'll go straight to my accommodation, see how much time I've got left, and see what I can do for the rest of the day. Maybe visit the Dove Lake car park and see if there's a small walk I can do to finish my day. And we've hit dusk. Our sunset lookout point for today is Lake Cathena Lookout, overlooking one of Tasmania's dams, the Lake Cathena Dam. And I have to say, my journey to this lookout point has been fantastic. I went through a number of different small towns along various windy roads, and one that really stood out to me was a place called Sheffield. Didn't really remind me of the city of Six Hills as it's described in the UK. This was more of a woodland realm, so to speak. The forest is absolutely immaculate, and then as I was making my way down to come to this lookout point, pink clouds of candy floss appeared out of nowhere. These monumental mammoths of air coming together to form this just magnificent piece of nature right before my eyes, and it kind of going in and out of the roads, winding through and seeing glimpses of it here and there, and then when the road finally opens up, just seeing a massive cloud which looks like it's right before your eyes but it's absolutely bloody miles away, was fantastic. I managed to get to the caravan park which I'm staying at again. Well, they call it, it's not a caravan park, it's a holiday park. It's a lot bigger than the last one that I stayed at, and there is definitely a greater variety of residents staying there. Some of more of the higher end customers, and then all the way down to the drips and drabs of those like me staying in little dormitory beds. I haven't inspected the room yet, but there were a number of different cabins. So it'll be interesting to see how populated it is. But yeah, another glorious day in Tasmania. I just feel like everywhere I go on this island is completely different, but still very similar. And the weather has really held up for me today, although I think it's about to start raining. But even now, as I've witnessed the sunset, and it's getting to about 6 o'clock, 20 minutes post the sun going down, I mean, the coloration in the sky is just something I've never seen before. It's like a mauvey, a pale mauve, similar to the colour of hair that my grandma used to sport in very fashionable fashion. So far, there's been nothing like it. I talked about the contrast of going through Launceston to somewhere like here. It's just, and they're about an hour and a half away from each other. It's crazy. It's very rare you get someone like that. Although going through a few of the countryside towns, they remind me a bit of the Bristol, Bath, and greater Bristol and Bath areas, which are absolutely gorgeous as well. I very much enjoy driving through those. But it's always just, it's crazy. And the only thing about Bristol and Bath is you won't see a wallaby hopping down the road, or crows eating apart a dead piece of roadkill, as they are so commonly doing. But I'm going to wrap up this episode here. I hope you enjoyed my little family anecdote and my descriptions around Tasmania so far. Tomorrow is a big day. We are attempting to summit Cradle Mountain. It's what I came here for, what this national park is all about. So wish me the best of luck as I venture into the unknown once more, and try and record some of my experiences along the way. But for now, thank you so much for listening, guys. Goodbye.